Hey everybody, welcome to Build Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in pop culture. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Sim. Hi, everyone.
Yay. Today we're going to talk about why actress Lily Collins has the ultimate ghost story and why Sonic the Hedgehog is getting a makeover. Plus, Adam Savage joins the table to discuss his new book, Every Tool's a Hammer, and later, visual artists say Adam stops by for the launch of National Mural Day. But first, guys, did you hear the news? Meghan Markle is a mommy.
No, I didn't see that comment.
Yeah, I know. It came out of nowhere. Yeah,
Wow.
They officially announced this morning that she and Prince Harry have a baby boy. They haven't released the name, of course. We'll have to probably wait a few days for that. But
Wow, what do you think the name will be?
Diana.
Oh, imagine. I hope it's some really American names.
That was so sad and dark.
Yeah.
This is dark for you.
Oh, was it? I'm in a dark mood, guys.
I think it'll
love
probably
it.
be something like Liverpool Squirrel.
Something.
Liverpool squirrel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Just throw it straight into the
Something
trash
very-
if it's that. Name
Or
that.
maybe it'll be like Crumpet Boy.
You're really good at names.
I
Something
can't
very
wait to have a
British.
kid and not consult you on its name.
I like Crumpet Boy.
child? Yeah, I'm like, this is our baby, but
Listen,
I'm
if
not
you don't
gonna
make a
let you
move,
name
I
it.
will, bitch.
I like Crumpet
Ooh,
Boy. I
get it?
think. Oh, sorry.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I got it.
It's open. I got it.
I was great, but she won't even fight over me. You see how that goes?
I know, that's soft.
Oh man, life is so hard.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for this baby. But in other news, Emilia Clarke's on-screen brother suffered a gruesome fate in Game of Thrones, but her real-life brother is okay. The actor recently revealed her sibling was a camera assistant on the HBO series, and she often had to steer him away from set whenever the script got too steamy. They mean sex.
Yeah, oh,
Right.
sexy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that she's not telling the truth, and she just didn't care where her brother was, and like
Yeah.
was too busy acting and being Daenerys to go look for her freaking PA brother. Like,
Right.
that didn't happen.
No,
Yeah.
she just said on Jimmy Kimmel that if ever he was in a nearby set, he'd be like, oh, I'll come over and stop by. And she'd be like, no, it's okay. Don't come. I'm having sex with Jon Snow today or whatever.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, also, like, we haven't had a lot of Daenerys sex scenes this season,
That's
if
true.
any,
Right.
so, like, you know, like, stop being all talk.
Yeah.
Show us your tits.
But throughout the series, you don't know how long he's been on the camera.
Right.
Because she has had some steamy scenes with several different men.
Good for her.
Sorry, I just started choking. It wasn't on purpose. I'm just choking. Don't look. Give me a
Allergies, I'm
close-up.
telling you guys,
Yeah.
pollen counts are really high today.
Sorry, please.
Yeah, no, well, I think speaking of Daenerys, if you watched last night's episode, was quite a big one for her. I think we are watching her descent
Yeah.
into madness, which I'm a little bit, it's hard watching because I think the show kind of has given her the short end of the stick. She came to Westeros with an army of 100,000 people and 3 dragons, and slowly, stupid mistake after stupid mistake, she's lost almost all of it.
Right.
And it's hard to see the most powerful woman character, arguably, get reduced to being mad. But I understand in terms of the arc, and I have faith for where the show's gonna go, that they'll end her in a way that is justified and satisfying.
Right. It's hard for me to say that she's descending into madness because
Right.
I would be pissed as well.
Damn straight.
Like, you do all of this work and then all of a sudden John's like, side note, I
Yeah.
actually should be the king.
Right.
I would be pissed as well. And I feel like she's reacting as any woman would.
I
Yeah.
completely agree. It's not, I don't really view her as crazy, even though, like, I do think she should chill a lot of the
She's
time.
aggressive.
Yeah.
But, like, it's so annoying that everyone's just like, look at John, like, look at John. Like, no, look at Daenerys.
Look at
Daenerys
Daenerys.
did so much. This is so triggering to
Not
me.
to mention,
It is.
Jon has actually proven in every battle to mess things up. Battle of the Bastards, he messed things up. This battle strategy, why the hell the Dothraki just rode off into with the dead people? They got decimated in 3 seconds.
Saddest.
That was his idea. So it's like, a lot of stuff is like he's actually proven to be a heroic man, a selfless man, but not particularly the best commander.
No, he's got a death wish always. He's like always trying to die.
Right.
Hey guys, what's that?
What is that?
Are you kidding me?
Did someone just leave some trash on set? Looks like we
Look at
forgot a
this.
cup.
It's so
How did it
unprofessional.
start? Luke, I mean, can you
Luke,
get
it
that
is
off
so
the set?
unprofessional.
This is embarrassing.
What is this?
We're
Game of Thrones?
professionals.
This is a period piece.
This
This
is the
is
period.
not Game of Thrones. We
Yeah.
can't leave
Oh my
Starbucks
God.
cups on set.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, it was real last night episode, someone left a Starbucks cup right in front of Daenerys.
In a
And
scene.
this episode cost like $15 million, and they
Like,
let that happen.
real talk.
Yeah.
What do you think she drinks?
Just like once again,
Chai
though,
latte?
like,
Pumpkin spice latte, chai latte.
Right.
once again, like if this was Jon Snow, everyone would be like, he deserves a latte.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's Daenerys, this is now becoming her emails. It's
Of
like,
course.
let the girl have a cappuccino.
Right.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
She's probably really tired.
She
Yeah.
needs it.
But she wouldn't really need that cardboard sleeve unburnt. Are you kidding me? You
Right.
can't have
Right.
coffee.
True.
Also, it's really cold in Winterfell.
Yeah.
It would feel good.
She had major weird girl vibes at that party. Like everybody was chilling and she was like, I don't fit in with the others. And I was like,
Right.
okay, me, calm down. You know, shut up. It's not that hard. Go talk to someone. I don't know. She should be texting. It's
Yeah.
a little
Right.
weird.
Social anxiety.
It is weird. I mean, like a lot of the episodes so far, I've really felt like I've been waiting for the show to begin.
Right.
And I think it's because just like we're so used to the earlier seasons of just like cutting between all these different storylines. We're like, oh, he's there, she's there. And now that they're all together, I'm just like, okay, so like, should we get drinks?
Right.
Yeah, right now it's like a lot of scenes where people are drinking and like we're like, ooh, who's gonna hook up tonight? Like
Right.
I was very scared last night when Sansa was talking to the Hound.
Oh, yes.
No.
Like, why did she walk over there?
Yeah, she looked like she was like, you want to learn how to take off this 30,000 belt, like
Right.
weird
Right.
corset that I've been wearing all season. Like,
Yes, the leather with the
literally.
chains.
Totally.
She was like, I've seen worse things than you now, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, Little Bird No More. That
yeah,
one.
Little Bird No More. That was weird.
Can we talk about Brienne of Tarth
Yeah,
and
really.
Jamie? That was the worst virginity story I've ever seen.
Right.
She pined after this guy forever. They literally fought to the end of the world. She gave it up, and then he left her in the cold to go back to his sister. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
know.
they leave
And-
it so open though, because you think, like, I was like really just troubled. Like, I was like, is he going back because he wants to save Cersei? Or is he going back because he's like, if anyone's gonna kill her, I'm gonna kill her? Like,
Yeah.
they left it very vague.
I think
I
it's
think he wants
leaning
to save
towards.
her.
Yeah, we'll see. And I also Brienne's, I think, gonna follow him there. I think we're gonna see a couple things. I do think Brienne will die on Cersei's orders, and I think that will be what Jamie
Yeah.
kinda. But also Arya saying, "I'm going to King's Landing for a reason." So that's also.
But wait, how do we feel about her falling? Like, a lot of people on social media had a funny reaction to that because she's like this knight. She's one of
Yeah.
the most like dangerous people in the realm, and she like loses her V card and like pines and like dies after this guy as he's riding off.
But that was like, yeah, there was a lot of women begging last night,
Right.
which I was kind of surprised about. But yeah, that was like her one moment though. Like
Yeah.
we haven't seen that from her.
Any vulnerability, you mean?
Yeah, any vulnerability. So I was like, okay, that's nice. Also, Jamie kind of I feel like Jamie thinks he sucks, so that's why he was saying he
Right.
sucks.
Yeah.
Wait.
He was like, you think I'm a good man? And we were like,
Right.
okay, you get it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not a huge ass monster.
Right.
I mean, you're a weirdo. You've been having sex with your sister. your whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, he was in love. I mean, that was the first other woman he's ever had sex with. But also, I just want to say the
In the
injustice-
womb. They started
yeah.
in the womb.
They started in the womb. But the
Read the books.
injustice of how they handled Ghost the past two seasons,
yeah.
and the fact John was just like, he deserves me north. Peace. That is like your partner. The Starks and their direwolves are like kindred spirits. The fact he's going like, peace out, thanks for fighting with me, I'll see you never, like, was so disrespectful. Now, I will say what kind of the hint of that when Tormund says you belong in the north too. My prediction, if Jon lives through this, I do not think he will be king, and I think he may end up back in the north, so there's hope. But
Okay,
we
back
will
to the
see.
direwolf. I was pissed when the direwolf cried and John didn't pet it.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you think it was just
No
too
one
hard?
pet it.
Do you think maybe he just couldn't go and say goodbye?
Come on, you pet
Maybe.
your dog. That made
Yeah.
me think he was such a bitch.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was disrespectful.
That
Do you
was
think
really-
it's because Game of Thrones, they were like rushing and they didn't have time to make somebody hold out a tennis ball and be like,
Right.
the head's here,
Right.
pet the ball. And they were like, we don't want to pet balls anymore.
That's
Right.
expensive.
It could
Yeah.
be. Well, you guys will find out next
Wait,
week.
also, quick moment of silence for Miss Sunday.
Uh,
Why they had to take her out like that?
Oh, that was dirty.
Honestly,
That
she,
was-
she could have done something. I wanted
Oh.
her to do something.
But
she was
she's not-
so
she's such
close
a
to
gentle-
Cersei. She
She
was
was
so
smacked Cersei
close.
in
She
the
did
face.
though.
Yeah.
She sent that
She said-
siren
Yeah.
call with
If she
the
said
chorus.
Dakar, she was
The
like,
cars.
burn these motherfuckers up.
Yeah.
All right.
They're going to.
Okay.
Oh my
Great
God.
job.
You guys,
She did.
Lily Collins can see dead people. The actress recently opened up to The Guardian and revealed that while filming her new movie, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, that's what my girlfriend calls me, she was visited by the ghosts of serial killer Ted Bundy's victims. Okay, go figure.
I believe it.
Yeah.
She said she would wake up at a certain time
3 a.m.
every night, 3 a.m., which is where she looked up. It's the thinnest veil between the living and the dead.
Yeah,
You know what?
okay. Only people who want to see ghosts. I'm sorry. It's just no one who doesn't want to see a ghost doesn't see it. I just.
You think? Really? I feel like there's.
hope we
I've
get
met a lot of
haunted
people
tonight.
who don't like ghosts who've seen ghosts.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Because I actually really don't want to see it.
Okay, don't.
Oh my God, I'm gonna send one.
No, I
Yes.
swear to God, I'll lose my mind.
I'm gonna send
I won't
one.
come to work tomorrow.
They don't have, ghosts aren't bad people.
I don't
They
think
could just be chilling. I can get a ghost to just like change the channel on your TV and
Right.
be like, la, la.
I really.
Yeah.
Well, in my old apartment, the TV used to turn on in the middle of the night.
That's a
Go.
ghost.
Was it at
No.
3 a.m.?
That's a ghost.
It would turn on in the middle of the night, and then like once in a while, I would just like find like a pair of shoes.
Okay.
in the
Were they your
apartment.
Okay,
shoes?
that's a ghost.
But I was just like, this is weird. I was never like, this is a ghost, you know?
Yeah, because
What-
you didn't want to open yourself up to it, but
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
sounds
wanna.
like a ghost.
I don't wanna. I'm not opening up for a ghost.
Girl.
Anyways,
I definitely believe in this, and I think especially when she was like in that space, like kind of conjuring them kind of every day, like telling their story, it doesn't surprise me. And I think it probably helped her get a little more into character.
Yeah,
I
I believe her 100%. I do think like 3 a.m. that's the time. I believe in ghosts, and I think when you're playing a real character, especially in a story like this, that it makes sense that people would be like, yo, represent me. And I think the ghosts, specifically after watching this film, I think the ghosts were like, hey, you left out a huge part of our actual story
Right.
because this film is so one-sided. And look, I, more than anyone, want Zac Efron to hit it big and have a great film, but this is, again, is not it. It really is not it. I love
Sorry,
him.
when you said hit it big, I thought you meant you.
Oh, no. He's a beautiful person. I do not want him.
Yeah. You're not in the muscles like that.
Yeah, I don't know. He's too buff to play Ted Bundy, and he was also wildly tan,
Oh.
like distractingly tan. Like the man was in prison for like months, and he just came out and he was like, "Look at me, I just juiced up at the booth," and I was like, "You need to calm down." No, but like it's really they just the whole time they're like talking about him being innocent, and they don't really like. To know what's happening behind the scenes, you have to be so well versed in like the truth of Ted Bundy. Otherwise, you're like, why are they bothering this poor white man? Leave him alone. He has a unibrow.
So
Like,
do you think it's
so
important
weird.
to watch, because the Ted Bundy tapes were really detailed and really got into everything. Do you think people would maybe enjoy this better after watching the tapes, or not even that?
I mean, not even that. I think if you are gonna watch this film, please watch like the Ted Bundy tapes because it'll give you at least context to know like what this person actually did, because they don't really. Lily Collins plays his girlfriend who, like, you find out basically made the call to say like, I think my boyfriend is the murderer.
Right.
But in the whole movie, she's like pretending that she doesn't really know. But in real life, like she found knives and she found bags of underwear. She knew that he was up to no good. And they don't really play with that. It's kind of a really like missed opportunity because, you know, Zac Efron has gone out in the press and said that he's had a hard time shaking Ted Bundy.
Right.
But he didn't really play Ted
Right.
Bundy like as all the all
Like
the
a murderer.
Yeah.
He's pretending he did method
just-
acting, but it wasn't really what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really played like the showman Ted Bundy.
Right.
Whereas,
Interesting.
like, if you want to talk about somebody who played a very like good character who was multidimensional, I'd say Caleb Worthy in The Act, who plays Nick Godejohn for that story about Gypsy Rose. He does such a great job of showing you both the killer and like the innocent person who's troubled. And I really like that performance, and I've heard he's had a real hard time shaking that
Yeah.
character.
I trust your opinion on killers.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yeah, I really do. Truly.
As someone who sends knife emojis, I would
Yeah.
trust
And
you,
coffin
Yeah.
emojis.
your opinion on the depiction of murderers.
I haven't got a knife or a coffin emoji.
She sent me a coffin
really?
emoji. It was the first time I've ever been sent one.
Yeah, and you were like, there's a coffin emoji, and I was like, this is like on my top use. Like, what have you been sending? You like sending the smiley face?
I send a lot of smiley faces.
What for?
I send a lot of smiley faces too.
lot
I
of
always
this.
type smile and then the emoji
Yeah.
comes up and I just click that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Well, now it's time for our first guest. You may know Adam Savage as the co-host and executive producer of Mythbusters and host of the brand new Mythbusters Junior. But today he's here to talk about his new book, Every Tool's a Hammer. The book serves as a love letter to creativity, secret thrills, exploring, and more. Everyone, please give a warm Bill Bunch welcome to Adam Savage.
Welcome.
I like that your name is on your shirt just in
Yeah.
case we forget.
Yes, exactly. That's how I find my way home.
Yeah.
Great fun.
Well, Adam, thank you so much for being here. Tell us about the book, Every Tool's a Hammer. It sounds like it's a very interesting, cool book.
Yeah, I thought when I started writing this that I was going to write a book that was sort of instructional about making and some of the lessons that I've learned in the shop. And it ended up becoming much more of a philosophical and autobiographical, as you said in the intro, love letter to making. I feel really strongly that being able to reach out and make things that are important to me is one of my superpowers, and I want everyone to experience this. And I don't think of making as just a physical thing either. It's like, it's dancing, it's making dresses or tables or poetry or whatever it is that you're doing creatively. I want everyone to get that itch.
Right, and I think what's so important, what's so cool about this book and something that you're doing is so successful is like you're trying to inspire the next generation of thinkers and creators. Can you tell us like why that was so important to you?
Well, the next the next generation's all we got.
Yeah.
You know, it's really important that we raise a generation of digital natives who are comfortable with the incredible tools that we're developing, because rapid prototyping is very soon going to become rapid manufacturing.
Right.
And I'm dying to buy my next iPhone case from a kid down the street rather than from some giant corporation.
Totally.
Right.
And that gets me really excited about equalizing that access to making for everybody.
And what are some of your favorite projects featured in the book?
I cover so many.
Yeah.
There's a prop from the beginning of Hellboy where Rasputin gives birth to Hellboy with this crazy steampunk glove. I spent 4.5 years replicating it from pictures.
Wow.
Having the glass blown, machining all the parts myself, doing all the leather work, and it's one of my favorite objects in my shop.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I love in the book the tips that you give, and one of them is not to wait until something is perfect, which I think is such a good tip, because people will stop themselves before they even get started.
Absolutely. The perfect is the enemy of the done.
Yeah.
And there is never going to be a perfect moment, a perfect workbench, the right mood. You just have to start doing it.
And on that note, what is the best piece of advice you've been given about creating and building?
Oh, wow, that is a really good question. I always, actually, it comes right back to that. It's that Goethe quote about beginning anything has genius, power, and magic in it. That it's, to me, I think about making in terms of physics. So I think about every action you take that moves you towards your goal is about building the momentum. And so I include all these other tips in the book about keeping momentum. List making, I put check boxes and I color them in. I love colored in check boxes because they mean I've made progress. I'll even add colored check boxes after a list is done to make it look more impressive.
Wow.
I love that. The book also features some other builders like Nick Offerman, who I love.
legend.
So how did you get him and some of the other guys included?
I called him up.
Yeah? That
Nick
easy?
is such a passionate ambassador for making and its power. And he and I got our start in very similar ways in the theater industry. Building flats, being terrible carpenters, and slowly came around to understanding the grace of building things well and precisely. And he's also unabashed about talking about making as an act of love, as an act of affection for the things and the people in your life.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and you, of course, were the executive producer and co-host of Mythbusters for 14 years.
I still have all my fingers and toes.
Yes. Are there any fun stories or myths that stand out to you from that period?
You know, there's one I talk about in the book here. We were doing a story about, in the movies, the hero always escapes from the bad guys by jumping into a dumpster and then jumping out and escaping. So how safe is it to jump into a dumpster? And so we tested that on the show. We got trained how to jump off a building by a stuntman named Randy Lamb. And then I knew we would have two parts of this episode. There'd be a training sequence and a testing sequence. So for the training sequence, I made Jamie and I wear sweatsuits with trainee on the front. But for the testing sequence, I wanted something dramatic. So I decided I would put together Neo's costume from The Matrix.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I bought the coat, I got some boots, I got the sunglasses, and on the day of testing, I went to my car and I put on the costume and I came back around and my whole crew is looking at me and they're all going, they're all like suppressing their church giggles. And I felt so exposed. And I felt just as exposed as I did when I was 12 on Halloween, and the suit of armor I made me feel powerful. But I also recognized I was exposed because my crew was my family and they could see me. They could see the passion that I was bringing to this. And you know, our hobbies, our passions, they're weird. They're all a little strange. And I don't pretend that I'm making the world a better place by making the costumes and props that I make, but following those passions is the engine for everything else I've achieved in my life. So I pay it the honor it deserves.
And you are now the host of Mythbusters Junior.
Yes.
Tell us how that's different from the original program.
It's different because the hosts are so much smarter. Those kids are so amazing. I love them so much. The last summer we spent shooting the show. The first season of the show was incredible. Their brains are so fertile, and their enthusiasm is so infectious. I loved giving them the tour through what the tenure from hosting MythBusters was like for me. I also have a brand new show coming up on the Science Channel in June called Savage Builds, in which I build absurd things every week with different amazing collaborators and engineers.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the first episode, we make a suit of Iron Man armor out of 3D printed titanium.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's
so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's savage.
That is
It really is.
really savage.
Yeah. And you also produce and you're the star on Tested.com's YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that and what it's like to wear multiple hats?
Well, Tested is it is multiple hats. Tested, my team at Tested is an incredible team of makers and storytellers, and our whole goal is to continue telling stories about making, but also not how-tos about making. It's more like what happened. So whenever I make something, somewhere along the line, I screw up and I feel terrible about the build. Like I feel like someone's going to give me a tap and say it's time to go home. And that happens in every build for every maker, for every creator, for every artist there is. And so on Tested, we tell those stories. We will do videos with me and Simone Yatch, the queen of, can I say shitty robots?
Yep.
Yes.
Building stuff together and it not working the way we expected. Normalizing the fact that the creative process is a messy one is the main story that we're telling on Tested.
I love that.
Well, before you go, we just thought we would use your expertise to debunk certain myths that scare us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Allie, why don't you
I'm gonna
All
start
right,
us off.
kids.
So a penny dropping from the Empire State Building can kill a person.
It will not kill you. Nope.
Really?
No, all you have to
I
do
really
is
was sure about that.
actually, last year I went on Colbert and he shot me in the butt with a penny traveling at its terminal velocity, and it did not kill me. And by the way,
Did it leave a mark?
here's the
penny
thing.
stuck in your
Yeah,
ass?
do you have a
though?
butt bruise?
No,
I really thought you were
okay,
going
left
to show
a
us your
little
butt
mark.
for a second. I was like, whoa.
When we filmed this episode, we went to the observation deck of the Empire State Building and subsequent decks below that. And I will tell you that every deck below the observation deck is littered with change.
Oh, really?
So New Yorkers are a bunch of murderous.
Yeah,
Like
so that's,
assholes.
That's really like effed up. They're like wanting
Yeah.
to kill people. Like,
Yeah,
this may
it's
hurt
exactly-
someone.
But no, the terminal velocity of a penny is about 70 miles per hour.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so what happens when you swallow gum? Does it really take 7 years to digest?
It does. Well, it might take 7 years. I don't know how long it would take your stomach acid to work on chewing gum, but your body passes it just like anything else you eat, like
Okay.
pennies or bottles.
Like pennies.
Like pennies.
Is that a common
Back to
thing? Okay,
pennies.
good to know.
Don't eat pennies. They have zinc in them now, and if there's a scratch, the zinc will react with your stomach acid. It's a bad
Bad.
scene.
All right, well, don't tell me what to do. Anyway, I have another one. What
Okay.
about using the 5-second rule to eat food that's fallen on the floor?
I feel like the 5 seconds. First of all, there's no difference between 1 second and 5 seconds or 30 seconds.
I don't
Okay.
believe it.
It's going to gather the same amount of
That's
bacteria.
right. Time is fake.
But my question is, what's your immune system for anyway? It's how I build a robust immune system is eating M&Ms off the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one's be hard for you to disprove, and I'm genuinely afraid of it. Okay. Chanting Bloody Mary in the mirror 3 times gets her to appear. Because have you ever done it? Does anyone know if it doesn't work?
I've done it. I've done it.
Did she appear?
I want to hear your answer.
Yeah.
No, Candyman, Beetlejuice, none of it will bring
sure?
anybody.
Are you
no.
sure?
Queen Bloody
Candyman
Mary.
is definitely a real man.
What's that?
Do you believe in ghosts?
I do not.
Really?
Me too.
Skeptic.
I'm
fellow
going to send
skeptic.
ghosts to both of you.
No, don't.
3 a.m. Watch your backs.
Keep your eyes open.
Adam, we'll send you ghosts, but I want to thank you so much for being here and helping us through our various
Thank you very much, you guys.
Everyone make sure to pick up a copy of Every Tool's a Hammer wherever books are sold.
Fans who saw the trailer of the live-action Sonic film were upset with the design of the blue hedgehog. Less than a week after the backlash, the movie's director, Jeff Fowler, tweeted that the team will redesign the character in light of all the feedback. Here's a look.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
I think he's cute, Sonic. I don't get it. Big deal.
I think he doesn't look
no.
like the way the character should look.
Yeah.
To fans of Sonic.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog had like the spiky on the back and he
Big
kind of had
eyes.
like a menacing look and he was a little more athletic. This one looks a little thin for me.
Oh.
It's not, yeah, it's not that thick.
I need him to be, yeah, I
Damn,
want
came
those
through
thick
with the
thighs.
body shaming.
But it's not.
I want thick thighs.
It's not 2D. It's live. It's live action
But
now. I
look-
think he looks really cute. They don't want to.
But even the Sonic, like a couple Sega later, he looked tougher than that. Like
Right.
that's like the first Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess I'm more amazed by the power of the internet.
Yes.
Once again, look at us changing the world, using our tools for the better. Twitter is a hammer.
What?
Twitter is a hammer, you guys.
When Twitter is it's a hammer. When people join together to do something good, we're making a
Yeah.
major studio pay tens of millions of dollars to re-edit a movie. What else can't we do? I mean, honestly, we should think about the presidential election, what Twitter can
know.
do.
Yeah.
Honestly, we join together.
But you bring up a really good point. This is supposed to be released in November, which means they have from now until then to redo, I would imagine, like the majority of the movie.
I mean, he is a main character.
And I'm a little worried because a lot of people were like, LOL, we're not gonna watch it anyway. And I'm like, guys, there are animators out there who have
Right.
to go back in and probably aren't getting paid that well. I mean, I don't know their contracts, but literally I'm like, if they're changing the little dude, like, go watch some movie.
Yeah, how are they gonna do that in that amount of time? I mean, you can't copy and paste this shit.
I think they
don't
can.
know.
I don't
Maybe.
know.
No, they
It's
can't.
gonna cost a lot of money.
It's gonna cost a lot of money. It's reminding me of when Netflix said they were gonna take Friends off, and we were like, no, don't do that. And they were like, okay, we won't.
You know what? I honestly think that shouldn't have happened. $100 million for Friends, I'm still upset about it.
Yeah.
I think
I
like
am
white
too.
people should have gotten more and more canceled after that.
Yeah, exactly. Pay for more content. But this
Why do we
also
do it?
reminds me of this is not the first blue creature that the internet has reacted to. I mean, the genie, Aladdin, Will Smith
With Will
as the
Smith.
genie. Like people had a strong reaction to that. Comparing him to like Tobias and Arrested Development, I just blew myself.
Yes.
I think we
He was also like so swole.
He's
Like
so-
why was he
but
so?
I think we're having a problem with blue people. You know,
Yeah.
I think Avatar came out and that
Yeah.
happened, and we were like, okay, this is interesting. But now there's been so much baby blue, and we're like, let the blue man be blue.
Well, we had the Blue
Yeah.
Man group, and they broke down a lot of barriers.
They
as
did for
well,
blue
but-
people,
Did
but
they?
maybe they're being disrespected now. You know?
Maybe. The Blue Man Group, they haven't made a lot of waves lately. Waves also blue. Okay, save yourself. I wanted to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They looked like shit, the new version,
Right.
and nothing happened. And is it because they're green and we don't care?
Yeah.
Listen, I used to fantasize about having sex with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and after those new
All
films,
at once or individually?
you know, we take turns. We're flipping shells.
Right.
Things are getting crazy. It's wet under there. You just don't know about it because how often have you been with a turtle? But literally, the new films ruined it for me. So like, if we can go back in time with a time machine that we definitely have, we should save the turtles.
Right.
Yeah. What color was the fish man in Shape of Water?
He was
Oh.
like gray and scaly.
Yeah.
That-
I liked his body
People
type.
didn't like how he looked.
Well,
liked
no,
him.
people just didn't understand how that was all happening. Like when they have that sex scene, I think more people are like, what is up in that bathtub? How does it work?
People should not kink shame.
They
Like
shouldn't.
if someone wants to make love to a fish, and that fish in this case could consent to it,
Yeah.
I support it.
I more had a problem with the hard-boiled eggs in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
gross.
And the water and the smell, I can only
You know I
imagine.
feel that. You know I feel that.
Let's
I'm
not
just
talk about
glad that the eggs didn't go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Let's not
Like,
talk
But we
about
don't know
eggs.
that they did it.
We don't
do you
need
think
to talk
he was
about
like
eggs.
plopping eggs out? He was like, eat these.
We don't need to talk about it.
Like the eels.
Yeah. Oh, dun, 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 dun. So good.
Well, guys, now it's time for our next guest. Say Adams is one of America's most unique visual artists, pairing street sensibilities with fine art credentials. Today, Say is here to talk about the launch of National Mural Day and its partnership with Pat's Blue Ribbon, PBR. Here to tell us more is Say Adams.
How are you?
Hey, welcome.
Welcome, welcome. How you doing today?
I'm good.
So tell us all about the National Mural Day. It's tomorrow, right?
Yes, it is. Well, National Mural Day is designed to celebrate the beautiful artwork that people are doing all around the country. You know, for me, as somebody that started out as a teenager, I've been making work my whole life. And so the idea is that we wanted to create this initiative to just celebrate all the amazing men and women that are making public art.
Absolutely. And you're going to actually make a mural. So can you tell us anything about what's going to be on it? Where is it going to be?
Yeah, I'm working on it right now in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. The idea is that it celebrates life. That's as simple as it gets. You know, this idea that I can make something and share it with the local community is really what it's all about.
That's really special. And you're also going to highlight 3 other artists, right?
That is
So what is
correct.
that process like? How did you find them?
Well, what I wanted to do was to tap people that were making interesting work in the community. So for example, Andre Trenier is a buddy of mine. He's from the Bronx. He makes murals that celebrate his community. Sophia Dawson is another one. She makes art that speaks for people that don't have a voice. And Queen Andrea is another one whose work basically just focuses on typography and using bold colors.
Wow. So these are just other artists that you knew about and you wanted to
Yeah,
highlight.
yeah. There are lots and lots of them out there. And if I can use PAPS as a vehicle to shine a light on other talented artists, then it's mission accomplished.
Well, on that note, so you're working with Pabst Blue Ribbon to kind of inspire and highlight this next generation. What's it like been working with Pabst Blue Ribbon on this project?
Well, I can tell you they've been a really great partner.
Right.
The idea that they're giving us a platform to express ourselves is really what it's all about.
Right, and they've committed to to resources support National Mural Day like around the country, right?
Yeah, yeah. There have been multiple cities that have artists that are creating murals as we speak, and really we're just trying to get the conversation started so people understand that this is something that is a great vehicle for self-expression. It beautifies the community, and unlike going to a gallery or museum, it doesn't cost anything. Public art is free.
Right, yeah, and you mentioned you started painting when you were younger. Were you always drawn to art?
Yeah, I've been an artist my whole life.
Okay. And you also have done, album covers for people like Jay-Z, LL Cool J. Like, what is the process like of doing art for other people and working with them?
Well, the thing that I think about first and foremost is it's my job as a visual artist to help bring their ideas and initiatives to the forefront. So, one of the interesting things about being in this space, and I don't know if any of you all know, but this used to be the headquarters of Tower Records.
Yes, we know.
And we used to have light boxes all along this window with album covers that I had designed, and our offices were right down the block.
That's
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. And your work, has been featured in iconic institutions like the MoMA. Like, what does that feel when your work is now for the public to come see and you're...
Well, it's great, but I've been making art since I was really young, and so a lot of this is a long time coming. So I'm excited to have a platform to express myself and to also be able to help my friends do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's publicly funded programs for murals in cities in our country. Do you know how we can get more of them?
Well, I think that we could start by people just putting pressure on their local officials, because the best thing about this is that it really gives people an opportunity to express themselves. And I keep going back to that because that's the most important thing, is shining a light on people and learning about how we're more similar than we are different. And I think that's the thing that's really important for me as an artist, is to express that when I'm making work.
Yeah, I feel like there is a big disconnect between people who are actually artists and appreciate art. So there's some people who just don't understand the importance of maybe a mural. Like, if someone's watching and they're like, I don't get it, some wall art, what would you say to that person to convince them the importance and the tradition behind murals? Because not everyone gets it. Some people are dumb.
A lot of my murals are based on the theme of love. And so I think that when you see one of my love murals, it really needs no explanation. And I, really try to put positive messages out into the universe. And that's really, for me, what this is all about. It's creating something that's going to make people feel good and just shine a light on all the talent that's out there.
Definitely. I'm curious. I know New York City has a lot of amazing murals, but for you, is there a city around the world that you think is really kind of like a hub for great murals?
Well, I'm a native New Yorker, so I'm gonna say New York.
Okay.
But also Philadelphia has a lot of great murals. LA has a lot of great murals. And outside of the US, places like Toronto have a lot of great murals. And so it's really just an opportunity for people to start looking and seeing and connecting with all this beautiful art.
Yeah, definitely. We'll say thank you so much for joining us. And everyone, make sure to follow Stay on social media for more information on National Mural Day. That's all from us. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same table. Bye.